What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, check this out, man. I had a conversation with King Thrash on the Cowboys channel, and now your mama knows. That's his channel. His name is Cowboy. His channel is and now your mama knows. And it was me, King Thrash, and the Realists were on there. Jersey came on a little bit later, but it was me, King Thrash, and the Realists on there. Okay, and I had a conversation with King Thrash about gaming services and like the gaming of and like the title of this video, will gaming service diminish the quality of games, right? Now, to be fair, he was speaking about specifically we were talking about day and date games. Like if a publisher makes a game that they know is going to come out day and date, is that going to diminish the quality of the game? This video was actually a lot harder to do because he was able to explain it in a way that I understood his concern. Doesn't mean that his concern is correct, but his concern made sense, right? It's almost like looking into the future and hoping that that doesn't happen, right? But what he said makes sense. And I was the best way I could do it is I could tie it to music. That's the only way I know how to do this, okay? I could argue that music now, not music, albums now are worse after the introduction of music services. I could make that argument that after music services came into play and what mattered wasn't album sales but how much stream your music got, artists put their focus on making sure their music got streamed, which then meant that if they had one or two songs that streamed really well, that was more than enough. So when it came to the album, the quality of the album diminished. That's the best way I could explain it. And I reiterated that to him, and he kind of agreed, like, yeah, that's kind of what I mean. So, King Thrash, if you see this video, please leave a comment. I don't want to misquote you, my dude. But I think that conversation that we had on the Cowboys channel, and now your mama know again, go watch it. I think that part of the conversation makes sense. The rest of the interview, it was all over the place, but that part definitely made sense. So the album that comes to mind for me is something like "Get Rich or Die Trying" by 50 Cent. That album, right? 50 was, hot on the scene. Obviously wanted to make a big splash in the music scene and everything. He had mixtapes out and stuff, but this was the album, Get Rich or Die Trying. You could literally listen to this album from track 1 all the way to the end and enjoy the album. You might skip maybe one or two songs, if that. But the album in its entirety is fire. Okay? After streaming services for music came out, I felt like there's not there's not hot artists. There's hot songs. And there's a few artists that have more hot songs than other artists. But as far as when it comes to like albums, actual albums, you could probably only name 3 to 5 rappers right now that you will actually sit there and listen to an entire album. Maybe I could probably mention 3 off the top of my head. I would probably sit down and listen through a whole Lil Wayne album, a whole Kanye West album, and a whole Drake album. That's probably Eminem too. I'll listen to a whole Eminem. So you got 4. But that's just my taste. But as far as when I'm listening to actual music on my phone and everything, I'm listening to all the hottest singles, or I'm listening to one weird obscure song that I'm listening to from somebody that I found. But as far as sitting down listening to an album, I just feel like the qualities of albums aren't there anymore. And is it because of streaming services? Is it because of the way we consume music now? It's definitely a correlation, not a causation, but it's definitely correlated to it. And I could see how there could be a concern that gaming services might do the same thing. Somebody brought up, what about movies? What about like stuff like Netflix? Because of Netflix, are movies getting worse? You could argue that. You could argue that because of Netflix and Amazon Prime and all this other stuff, that the quality of movies are getting worse because they got to put stuff into. They know that their movies have to be things that people aren't going to get bored with, not going to have a what's it called? What's it called? Retains their attention for longer. Whereas if you actually purchased a movie that might have been freaking, you went to the movie theater to see it, or you actually, got it on a DVD and put it in, and you don't have all these massive options. The first 5 to 10 minutes of that movie, you're not already quitting because it's not, sucking you in. Where you might miss a great movie that just starts off slow. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. With that, when I had that conversation with him, I think he explained it. He explained it well. It's a lot harder to make a video about it because in my mind it makes sense. So let me know if it makes sense to you guys. So the concern of having Sony do day and date is because he believes that the quality of the games are going to diminish if you have games going to a service. Now we have Microsoft, we have Game Pass, and so far, I can speak for the games that I have played that have been day and date first party exclusive for Microsoft. I've played Forza, okay, and Forza has been amazing. Forza has been a great game, and it looks technically it looks great. It runs great, and it's a lot of fun. And it's just a driving game, right? But it is amazing. Forza is amazing. Okay, check my gamer score. I actually play. I'm not one of these people that talks about it and only put 5 hours into it. I actually play Forza. All right. Um, I'm not gonna use Halo Infinite multiplayer because Halo Infinite multiplayer is not a direct reflection of Game Pass. It's actually free. But Halo Infinite multiplayer is also a lot of fun. Is also to me also looks great. And there's only 4 modes, and I'm having a blast with that game. Okay, but it's not part of a service. I know a lot of people like to put Halo Infinite multiplayer as if it's part of Game Pass, but it's not. You could play it without having Game Pass. So you guys got to stop doing that. On December 8th, though, that's when we're really going to get a test to see if Game Pass or gaming services affects the quality of a game because we've been knowing from the beginning that Halo Infinite campaign mode was going to be dropping on Game Pass. So let's see. Let's see if the concerns that KingThrash has are correct with this Halo game. If the Halo game is amazing and the quality is great, then if Microsoft can do it, we should be able to believe that Sony can also do it as well. The other concern, as far as can Sony do it financially, that's a whole different argument, right? But as far as the quality of the games, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. So, in all honesty, man, I think the conversation I had with KingThrash again, it was a civil conversation, and he explained his concerns, and I reiterated it with music, and he let me know like, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And like I said, King, if I'm misquoting you, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll go ahead and pin it so people can see exactly what you said. But I can understand the concern for the quality of games going down if they're all forced to be put into a gaming service because the artists that are making music now aren't making music. Most of them are not making music to sell albums. They're making music to get streams, which the formula is completely different. It's very difficult to tell someone to buy an album when there's only 1 or 2 good songs on the album, right? It's a lot easier for you to stream that person's music and still give them money via the streaming when they're putting their heart and soul into just 2 songs instead of putting their heart and soul into the entire album. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it different. Is it better or worse? I mean, I don't know, because at the end of the day, you can argue that we're getting more music now than we ever had before, or you're listening to more artists now than you would have ever listened to before, and you're being exposed to more music now than you've ever been before, and that's a good thing. However, as far as an album, man, what's the last album I listened from top to bottom? I don't remember. Maybe Eminem's "Music to Be Murdered by" two. That might have been the last one I listened from top to bottom. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I know it's all over the place because this is kind of hard to. It's a lot harder than I thought to explain. But I get what he's saying. I understand it. I just don't know if the fear is valid yet. I'm still sticking with gaming services. I still like gaming services. I subscribe to both Game Pass and PS Now, and I'm excited to see what Sony does with this new gaming service and what they add or what they take away, whatever. And then I got to figure out which tier I'm going to subscribe to as far as what makes sense. All I know is if that second tier, which is PS Plus and PS Now, somehow is more expensive than what I'm paying for PS Plus and PS Now right now, that's going to be a problem. That's gonna be a problem unless they add extra stuff to it. We'll see. Doc Dog 1985. There's levels to this. We out. Peace.